I remember sitting in the parking lot after having drove back to the RPS headquarters with my dog, and I had an overwhelming feeling that I couldn't get out of my uniform. I couldn't get out of the area of headquarters fast enough. I now know what I was having was a panic attack. And I'll say, as in my role as a canine handler, we use a term in our unit called the tip of the spear, if you would. If there's someone that's wanted from a very violent offense or very dangerous circumstances, typically we're going to be the ones that find them at the end of a track, right? So at the end of the track, I've come into situations where I've had to deploy my dog, or the criminal presents a knife. And so you have to make decisions in the moment that are going to alter the course of their life, alter the course of your life, and ultimately be held responsible for the things that you've done. Things that I started to notice a change in my behavior, a change in who I am, where I was a lot easier or a lot quicker to anger. My wife, for example, would ask me to go and do menial everyday tasks, go stop at the mailbox or whatever it might be, and I would snap, or I would have a hair trigger with that. I was getting very little sleep. Every night I would lay awake in bed and my mind just couldn't shut off, and I would get maybe 1 to 2 hours of sleep a day. We also had a toddler at the time. The one thing that I promised to myself when I first became a father is that I would impart on me, or I would impart on my child, the best parts of me and not the worst. So when it came to having 1 or 2 hours of sleep and then trying to be a good dad, a good father, it was very difficult to be engaged and just not be there. Like, I wanted to take care of more than just his needs, and I found that really difficult, as I had an empty tank, gas-wise, right? I came home one night where I had been spat on in my face with blood, had to go to the hospital and get treated at the hospital, and then come home. And at the time, my son, who I had earlier mentioned, was a toddler. Well, at this time, he was a baby. So all I can remember is grabbing him from his crib and holding him and crying for hours. My wife ended up being woke up by me, came in, took my son from my arms, who was still sleeping, put him back in the crib, and took care of me from there. But it wasn't up until that I had that panic attack that I really came to understand that I needed some kind of help, that I couldn't continue to go on the way I was going on. Anything that I needed, I got. Any support that I required, they were there for me, which allowed me to say to myself that what I was experiencing was normal, and I just had to realize that I could get through it, right? That stress was okay, and there was ways to manage that stress. I was actually getting restful sleep at night again. I was able to bring to the forefront and have conversations with people that I needed to have those conversations with about what was actually going on, like the root of the problem. Because up until then, up until going through that therapy with my psychologist, I didn't know why I was changed, why I was different. I didn't know what events that I had gone through were actually bothering me. And so when I actually got a firm grasp of what was going on, then I could say to myself, okay, well, this is normal, and you are going through something that lots of other people go through, and there's ways to manage it. The more we talk about it, the better we're going to get at treating each other and finding a way through this.